Metallic Minerals is a leading growth stage exploration and development company focused on silver and gold in the high-grade Keno Hill and La Plata mining districts.
Our project is located in the central Yukon. We're right on the highway. We've got grid power and we're next to Alexco, who's been operating in the district for years. So it's a great place to be working. The Yukon's one of the preferred jurisdictions, I think, right now globally for exploration. Great workforce, great environment. We have put together a land package now that's 166 square kilometers into this Keno Hill district. The district's produced over 200 million ounces of high-grade silver over the last 100 years, discovered after the Klondike, so it's got this fabulous history. It's a kind of a fun fact. There's more value in silver that came out of the Keno Hill Silver District than all the gold in the Klondike. So it really is a world-class district. It's a great place to be exploring. Our core expertise is exploration. That's what we've done well, is make discoveries, advance deposits, and grow those for shareholders. And that's where we want to stay focused. The deposits to date are all quite shallow by high-grade vein standards at Keno, most of them less than 300 meters from surface. In some places they're mining thousands of meters depth. So I think this is a camp that has a huge forward-going history in terms of new discoveries, and we're one of the groups that's going to be out there making those, hopefully. You've got 200 million ounces of historic production. You've got almost 100 million ounces of new resources. We're on the eastern half of the district. Geologically, there's a possibility here that we could find just as much as has been found on the other side of the district. And in many of the biggest silver camps globally, they've produced over 1 billion ounces.
In addition to Keno Silver, last fall the company announced acquisition of the La Plata project in the southwestern U.S. This historic mining district shares a lot of the characteristics of Keno Hill as a high-grade silver and gold producer, with production from the 1800s to the 1940s from some 90 different mines and prospects. During the 1950s and 60s, it was explored by some of the copper majors, including Rio Tinto and Freeport, and was sold ultimately at the bottom of the metal price cycle. It's effectively been off the market for the past 50 years. We're excited about the potential to take a historic resource and with some additional work, turn it into a 43-101 resource for the company fairly rapidly. Likewise, there's been almost no modern exploration on any of the high precious metals targets that surround the porphyry system itself. These are very similar to the systems we've been so successful with at Keno.
We picked up one of the largest undeveloped land blocks in the Klondike Gold District. A large block of land that was not mined historically. This kind of area got a little bit forgotten. A couple of the guys we worked closely with had started picking up ground. So over a couple of decades, they've assembled this large land package that we've brought into Metallic. The idea being permitted sites for mining, and we can invite operators who are experienced Yukon operators already. Under the contract, we would hope to see them go into production, and that results in potentially an advance minimum royalty for us each year, plus a production royalty of 10 to 15% on all the gold produced. Our team has between 20 and 30 years experience for the majors, for the mid-size explorers and developers. They've been there. They've found major discoveries in the region. Our team is credited with the huge Donlin Creek discovery in Alaska, the Galore Creek deposit, copper gold in BC, Wellgreen expansion in the area. So we bring a track record of discovery success to the table. We've chosen to work together because we've worked together in the past. And I think that's something that eventually will pay off for our shareholders and investors as well.
We are funded and permitted to deliver on our key objectives in 2020. With approximately $3 million in cash and in-the-money warrants and options worth an additional $3 million. With the founding of the Metallic Group in 2016 and the acquisition of our district-scale properties at Keno Silver and La Plata, we've come a long way. Our work since then has identified 6 advanced stage targets along the known productive trends and discovered 12 new multi-kilometer scale targets in one of the world's highest grade silver districts. In 2020, we will focus on converting key mineralized zones into formal resources, expanding the areas of known mineralization through step-out drilling, and advancing the new early-stage targets to initial drill testing. With a series of news events in the pipeline from our exploration in 2020, it's an exciting time ahead for Metallic Minerals shareholders.
Great to see you. Great presentation. It's a fun time for you. You've had the stock performance has been great for our viewers here. Heading in, everyone got killed by the pandemic. Heading into that, the stock was in that 26, 29 cent range. got driven down to about 13 cents when the whole stock market fell apart. Any astute investor that picked it up at 13 cents is feeling pretty good today. Now you're in the 40 cents, been touching about 42 cents. So really strong performance. Market's getting behind you. What do you attribute to that? I mean, that's outsized growth. You're performing better than your peers over the last couple of months. What do you attribute that to? Do you think that's sustainable?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, there's been, as you know, a lot of new interest in the silver sector. And so investors are starting to take a look around at that market. There's a real scarcity, I think people are finding, of high quality, particularly high grade silver projects with low political risk, like Keno Hill. And so I think that's really resonating. In addition, we announced some pretty eye-popping numbers here the week before last, 7,000 gram per ton sampling from underground at our targets at Keno Hill. You just don't see numbers like that. Average grade in the industry is around 300 grams. So those are just, kind of off the charts. And I think, looking forward, we've got these 12 new multi-kilometer discoveries that haven't had a drill test yet. So we're looking to move those forward to test those, and I think there's a lot of excitement around that. And just there's going to be a lot of news in the pipeline here as we're kicking off our field programs and starting to get out there and really get things started again.
Excellent. And of course, it probably doesn't hurt to have Eric Sprott moving in. So Eric took a strategic level investment last fall. What are you hearing from them? Are they just very constructive on silver? What was their investment thesis behind coming into metallic?
Yeah, I mean, Eric was one of the early investors in NovaGold, so we're really excited to be working with Eric again in metallic minerals. I think Eric is pound the table bullish on silver. I think he thinks we're at the early stages of a multi-year market, particularly for silver and gold. And I think we share his perspective that, this is the time to be acquiring high quality names in the sector.
Fantastic. You alluded to the exceptional drill results. Are you a proponent of Sean Ruzin's SUDS theory, shut up and drill stupid? And what's in store for the 2020 exploration season?
Well, our project, because we're in a brownfields district, we're next to our neighbor Alexco, who's, making some great progress towards going back into production. And so, for us, this is a longer term story. It's been unfolding over the last couple of years. First couple of years were all about acquisition of the ground, really consolidating the district. And we've been able to quite quickly advance, 6 targets to the drills testing stage. We're getting some great numbers, hitting some great results and starting to step out along those. And we've developed these big new targets that we're doing the refinement work so that when we bring that drill in, we've got a high degree of confidence to be able to really understand, what those results are meaning for us and be able to advance those.
Excellent. And you alluded to Alexco Resources. Let's push down a little bit more on that. They have Keno Hills. That's your neighbor. They're on track to restart production this year. They're getting their final permits in place. What does that mean for metallic? And what do you envision for the district as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, this is a major milestone for Alexco, who's our neighbor. It's really adjoining land packages between Alexco and ours. Many of our targets are on trend with the known producing mines in the district. With that recent discovery at Birmingham by the Alexco team, I mean, it's really put the Keno Hill district on the map. This is a district that's been producing for 100 years. And yet, I think the Birmingham deposit is probably one of the best undeveloped silver resources in the world. And it really highlights how this is a district that, though it has this long history, new world-class discoveries are being made. And we think there's more to come here. Potential long-term, we think Keno Hill is underexplored and has the potential to be like peers like Coeur d'Alene district, say in Idaho, which is a similar geologic setting. And for us, Anthony, I mean, with road access, a mill in the center of the district, without going back into production, what it means is that new discoveries for us have a possibility of very rapidly moving into production with very modest capital costs. And that's an exciting place to be. Fantastic.
Well, it would appear that the market is really waking up to the story and embracing it. So congratulations. Best of luck the rest of the year, Greg. Great to see you. And for our audience, we're going to get more on the district and what's going on in the Yukon on our thought leadership panel today. So some of the themes that Greg has brought up will be further expounded upon. Great to see you, Greg. Have a great rest of the day and a great weekend.
Sounds great. Thanks a lot.